What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Spawn on Me podcast. This is episode 213, 213. I don't even know what area code that is. I think that's
All
LA.
you skirts know what's up with 213.
Yeah, shout out to the LA area.
Yeah, that's Long Beach, man.
Yeah, exactly. I am the one and only Mr. Cicero Holmes, aka Stubby Stan, aka the Bruce Wayne of Chicago, aka the Great Subnosticator, aka Caesars, aka the Baron himself, the Baron of Bourbon. And I am joined this week and every week with my brolic brother from another mother. He is the one who makes those fros look good. He makes Milwaukee stand up. He makes the tutorers stand up. He makes them kids smart. Is our children's learning? Yes, they is. From the one and only Mr. Sharif Jackson of SharifJackson.com. What up, sir?
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. That's how I start all my tutoring sessions.
Yeah.
Because I gotta put some blackness, you know what I'm saying? And at the beginning, before I destroy somebody with math and physics, I gotta start them off easy.
Okay. That was easy.
Yeah, I got to start them off easy. You know what I'm saying, and then I gotta then I gotta put that hammer on them. What's up, C? How you doing, man? Very glad that it's just us two for a second week.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Kah and Tanya are both wrapping up their GDC visits, and I've been following what they've been doing there, and it's been great work. Kah helped host the Blacks in Gaming panel, the Microsoft sponsored one, where he interviewed friends of the show, Simply Andrea,
yes,
and I think Kashana Gray as well.
Kashana, that's right.
And Tanya gave a micro talk on diversity in games as well. So I was following some of her work, and of course the whole week they've been posting all these pics of them hobnobbing with gaming royalty out there with the devs and stuff. While I've just been taking selfies with the math books and equations. So
hey.
I don't know which one wins out.
I don't know. You got the math. So yeah, shout out to the West Side. They're out there in the Bay areas, and what a momentous week this has been so far. These cats have been out. Our Duchess of Diversity is out there hobnobbing and making it happen. The great captain was he started the week out on what is it, Games Daily Live, or Kind of Funny.
Yep.
Games Daily with the one and only Game Over Greg Miller, and did a phenomenal job.
A bearded Greg Miller.
A bearded Greg Miller. Yeah, he's rocking the beard now, and got a great reception from everyone around. So real super duper proud of the cap, and you guys can check that out on YouTube. I think youtube.com/kindafunny.
Yep. Slash Kind of Funny Vids, I believe is what they use as their name. Yeah, I was in the chat while he was on. Definitely expecting some more toxicity, and it was a good chat, I must say. They've definitely, it was I think it was in follower only mode. And it was, it was pretty good. I mean, I was very, very impressed that there wasn't a lot of the normal kind of, who's this black guy, blah, blah, blah. There was a little bit of that, but it was overwhelmingly positive. So I was really, really happy with that. And also, Kah was also on What's Good Games.
That's right.
Because I know that Andrea Renee, who's one of the co-hosts there, was shading Kah for only mentioning his Kind of Funny appearance and not his What's Good Games appearance.
Yeah, give it to him.
And I think that's only available to Patreon subscribers. So if you go to patreon.com, What's Good Games, then you'll be able to access that video. And you should be anyway, because it's a gaming show, that's all women, and it's really good. So Yeah, man. Kah's out there. He's out there.
He is out there. He is out there. What else is out there was my undying appreciation and love for all Chicagoans. So as we talked about last week, I celebrated my birthday, and you know, the love from Chicago was felt. It was dope. Thank you very much for all the love, and I had a great time. So I can remember it. As I was telling Reef before we started, the night ended with me with chicken McNuggets in my giant sofa reclining couch. I fell asleep, and the next thing I knew, it was 9:00 in the morning. So yeah.
Now, this is an important question. What kind of sauce are we rocking with the nuggets, man?
I am a sweet and sour honey mustard type of dude.
Okay, that's acceptable. It's not optimal.
Oh, really?
Acceptable. There's only one sauce you should ever get with
what
your
is that?
Nuggets. Tangy barbecue. That's
Tangy
it.
barbecue.
Tangy barbecue, man.
But the thing is, so here's the thing. I can get tangy barbecue with chicken at any time. Like whenever I want to go and get some chicken, if I get some non-McDonald's chicken, I'm drunk as hell chicken nuggets or chicken in general, I can go and get myself some Sweet Baby Ray's or any kind of tangy barbecue.
You can. I usually get hot sauce when I get other chicken, but I feel you. Yeah.
But that sweet and sour, you know, and honey mustard you can get now anywhere too. But that sweet and sour you can't really get that.
I mean, the sweet and sour is good. I stopped by McDonald's the other day when I was coming home from teaching my class, and I just wanted, like, you know, it was like 9:00 at night. I just wanted nuggets. That's it. Right. And like the lady said, hey, we're about to throw away these fries. So she gave me fries free, and she gave me some of that McDonald's Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, the Szechuan
like Rick and
sauce.
Morty fans were going crazy over.
Yes.
I don't watch Rick and Morty, so I have no idea what that whole thing was.
Right.
Szechuan sauce, very overrated. Not really that good. I mean, it's Szechuan sauce.
Whoa.
You know, it's just like any Szechuan sauce you would have, or soy sauce. You know, it's just not really riot worthy.
Send all your spicy talk to @Sharif Jackson about Szechuan shade.
I'm just saying that if you're gonna riot at a McDonald's, it better be for some good shit. You know, I would riot for an Arch Deluxe. Bring back the Arch Deluxe.
Oh wow!
Damn it.
So the McDLTs.
I'm the Arch Deluxe. It made me feel like a king.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I remember when and I don't know if they still have that. Like, I don't even remember where this was in Manhattan, but I remember when I was younger, my dad took me to this McDonald's. I think it was around the World Trade Center area. That was like, it was like waiters would bring you the food.
Oh,
It was like a glass McDonald's. It was like all glass, kind of like an Apple store. And you went in and you sat at like a table. Your waiters would like bring you your meal as if it was like a fancy ass restaurant. And like that was like when like the Arch Deluxe came out. I was like, yo, bring me my Arch Deluxe.
Arch Deluxe
like a side of like Grey Poupon. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You were wildin'. And last week you and I were wildin' in last week's show. So thanks everybody for checking it out. If you haven't, go ahead and check it out. It's a really dope show. We talk about a lot of great things.
Mm-hmm.
And in this show, we're going to talk about some more great things. The first great thing that we're going to talk about is what we're playing. And right now, I think me and Reef are both playing the same thing. Reef, what are you playing?
Well, you know, I went to the port of Chicago.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I usually stay away from the ports.
Right.
After watching The Wire season 2 and several other movies, like there's usually bad things that happen at ports of cities. But you know, I had to sail off
into the Cheddar Bay. You're sailing off into the Cheddar Bay?
Yeah, exactly. I had to sail off into the Cheddar Bay, and join my thieving pirate show. I've been rocking Sea of Thieves. Like this game has been talked about for a couple years at this point.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of Rare, and seeing it develop throughout the years and participating in the alphas and the betas over the past year, this game for me has delivered on my expectations in a big way. Now I say it delivered on my expectations because I was not expecting some deep single player story where I was going to go over my feelings of being a pirate. I wasn't expecting like Assassin's Creed 4, right. I was just expecting a fun co-op game where you could do dumb shit, solve some riddles, jack some people for some loot, get your loot jacked, and get drunk. And the game delivers on that in spades. I was fortunate enough to play both with Amoebic, who is Amanda, one of the co-hosts from Gamers with Jobs, nice. And with Danny, one of the co-hosts, the co-founder of Gamertag right. Radio. And in both games, I just had a blast. I mean, we like the riddles that they give you to solve to find chests and stuff are really, really inventive. And it really felt kind of like a Zelda game where you're kind of like, just like, like you think about it for like a couple minutes. And then once you think that you're getting to that frustration point, that's when like the aha moment comes. And it was great, right. So I really enjoyed like the puzzle part of it. The combat is okay, I haven't right. leveled up enough to really delve into some of like the more advanced weaponry and stuff. So I pretty much only used like your starting weapons, which is like a basic pistol and a sword. But like that's been good enough for me to fend off skeletons and fend off other pirates as well. So I've been having a great time with this game. I've only played for maybe 4 or 5 hours of the game, but it's been a very, very enjoyable 4 or 5 hours.
So...
And are you in slow motion? Like what just happened?
Right. Yeah. So, Stubby Stan, I be sail the high seas with me, yeah.
Oh my god.
So I got to play. I also have been playing Sea of Thieves. Is the game fun? Yes, it is fun. If you're, look, if you just want to have the thing is, if you want to go and play at being a pirate with 3 of your friends and just fuck around, the game is incredibly fun. If you're looking for some narrative adventure where you're going to feel emotionally tossed in some meaningful way, then you're not going to find that in Sea of Thieves. But what you will find is fun, color, amazing graphics. In terms of the water is the prettiest I've ever seen.
Oh yes.
It's the prettiest, and then on top of that, like if you're watching the sunrise or the sunset,
yep.
It's just it's breathtaking. And then when you're flying, when you're sailing through the storms, it is ridiculous how immersive the game can become in those moments. This game for me is going to forever be linked with. First off, the one thing that I want to say is you were saying that you were playing with Danny. Shout out to Godfrey and shout out to Game Tech Radio. Do you know what platform he was playing on?
Yeah, he was playing on Xbox. I was on PC.
Right, and was it seamless?
When we got connected, yes.
Okay.
It was a little finicky to get in there,
Right.
but
Right.
there have been some obviously server issues
Right.
with demand. But once I got in, it was absolutely seamless. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's been really exciting for me is it doesn't matter what platform the person your fellow scallywags be playing on. Uh, because it is absolutely seamless, and that in and of itself is a really great feat. There are no floating octopi, Black Kevin, but me hair tails
Yeah,
of the Kraken.
yeah, man, and you know, I want to talk a little bit about the water, as you said. It's
Right.
not just the look of the water.
Right.
It's like if you ever been on a boat, you know,
Right.
like when you're out in the water, you can feel the water putting pressure on your boat as you're going
Yes.
up and down, and like
Yeah.
that's really, you know, what leads to, you know, motion sickness and that kind of stuff.
Right.
In this game, I swear, if you have motion sickness, this game might get you.
It might. It really
Because
might.
this game, when you're out on there, you're like moving left and right, up and down, and when you're in a storm, it's even crazier, you know. And I've had times where, you know, I had to learn quickly that you have to look for holes in your boat and patch them up.
Yes.
Because in my first game, as you might have seen as a clip that I shared out, I was not aware of this, and my boat just started sinking, and I had no idea why, and I was just floating out there by myself. Because you know the game, and this is obviously intentional, really does not have much of a tutorial at all. I mean, they
Right.
tell you some really basic things,
Right.
but they don't tell you that you have to patch up holes. They don't tell you that there's a bucket that you can scoop out water
Right.
out of your boat as it's sinking. Like there's a lot of things that you kind of have to pick up either by like reading a guide or by playing co-op. I mean, that's what's been
Right.
so cool is that
Right.
Amanda and Danny, we taught each other so much about the game, and I think that that's what they wanted. It's like a similar feeling to in Destiny when you're doing a raid with like a new group and like you're both kind of saying, well, like I did it this way, I did it that way, I didn't know about that, you know. So I think that as long as you join in with a good group of like either friends or like randoms, it's really cool. Playing solo I think is also cool, but you kind of have to read a guide at that point because there's some basic things about like how to get quests, how to start quests, who to trade stuff into, and like fixing up holes and like knowing like how to adjust the angle of your sail to catch the wind, like all that kind of stuff that like, you know, they don't really go over in detail with you, but can help you significantly enjoy the game.
Yeah, let me teach you a thing or two about sailing the sea, Captain Jackson. So, first thing, so you were talking about how only have, you only have the two weapons. So you have a cutlass. A cutlass is your sword, and you have a flintlock pistol as the default weapons. But you have an armory, and there are three firearms that are at your disposal immediately.
Yeah, it's like a sniper rifle, right?
Right. So you have a sniper rifle, you have a blunderbuss, which is like a shotgun, and then you have this flintlock pistol, along with your cutlass. And you can interchange. You can only use two weapons at a time, but you can interchange any of those weapons, you know, at your leisure. But you have to first go to the armory and do stuff. Now you can get new weapons, but I think this is actually a pretty smart thing. Is the weapons don't increase in damage or abilities. They're just all of the changes that are available are cosmetic. So there's nothing that you'll do to your system or to your game or in your gameplay that will give you any kind of advantage of someone, you know, of another player, a newer player. Right. So you can just, you know, when you earn gold, you're earning gold to buy newer, prettier things for your, you know, for your character or for your ship, and that's it. So everyone's on an even playing field. The other thing that I really want to say, and I think this is a super important point to make, is that this game will forever be linked to Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, or the Game Pass, and I think that it's the optimal way to own this game is via Game Pass, because I've seen a lot of think pieces over the last few days about this game and how it's incomplete and it's only 10% of the game, and all of this other jazz. Where these people were and liking it to No Man's Sky, and the sparseness and the lack of depth that was in that game, and saying that this game is similar in that way, where there's not a lot of depth to it. I can understand the arguments. I can understand people saying that this game, there are 3 different quest givers, and you can definitely just kind of sail around willy-nilly and go to islands and find different things. And there are skeletons where they're basically like raid islands where you can get like really great loot or really great treasure chests. But it's going to be difficult to get there, and you'll probably need to team up with another 4-person ship, or maybe even a couple of 4-person ships to actually get onto the island and succeed. So that stuff is there, and a lot of people have been able to do a lot of that stuff very, very quickly. But the reason that Game Pass is important, and the reason that Game Pass is important, this game is a service. This is a game that you can see from the moment you step on your ship is a game that will grow and will become more than the sum of its parts over time. And this game, 6 months from now, will be dramatically different from the game that we have today. And the thing that's great about it is this game is a service. Game Pass is a service. And while I can understand someone being legitimately disappointed by the fact that they spent $60 on what they thought was a full game, in quotes, a full game that may grow over time, the value proposition that Microsoft has created with the Game Pass of $10 a month, as this game continues to grow, you can jump in and out of this game and see the progress that's being made, and not really feel like, oh man, I wasted $60, and now I'm on to other games and other things or what have you. I think your tweet initially, the launch day, made the most sense. It was probably the most poignant, was the fact that you ordered Game Pass and you plan to keep it for 6 months, the same price as Sea of Thieves had you paid for it today. And in that 6 months, who knows what will be available on Game Pass? Who knows what you'll discover that is on Game Pass that maybe there's some games on there that you missed, or are games that you liked in on previous generations that you want to revisit. There are so many things that could happen in the ensuing 6 months that may make keeping Game Pass above and beyond the 6 months that you intended a very, very real possibility. I mean, Game Pass is a brilliant move, and I think that this game is the perfect game to kind of launch the system out into the world in a very real way.
Yeah, and like not only is the 6 months thing, but it's a 2-week free trial.
Right, absolutely.
Right? So, I was debating if I wanted to spend $60 on the game, because while I enjoyed the time in the alpha and the beta, it takes a lot for me to get a new $60 game. I usually kind of wait it out a bit because games go on sale so fast, and plus I have this huge backlog from 2017 I'm still trying to catch up with. Right. But I was like, look, I have a 2-week trial. If I absolutely hate the game, I'll just cancel it. If I like it, I keep it for 6 months. It's the same amount. It's like financing the game without interest.
Absolutely.
Basically. and that also, because I'm playing on the Windows side, that also gets me access to Gears 4, Halo Wars, Halo Wars 2, Recore, Super Lucky Tail, Riptide, GP, and Zoo Tycoon. So like those are like the 8 games, and like Sea of Thieves obviously available on Game Pass for Windows on day one. And of course, as they add, any other first party games, those are also exactly. Those are also going to be there. So it's like, as long as I get 2 games a year, that's $120, but I'm paying $10 a year. I don't got to take these big bumps in like paying for a $60 game. And so far, the frequency that these games have like come out has been enough for me. And then obviously, as I said on a previous show, I might, if I come up on a deal for an Xbox One, I might be tempted to get it, because then I'll have access to that entire 100 games that's like on like Game Pass. Like a Resident Evil and the like wrestling games, 2K,
Mad
and
Max.
Justice. Like a Metro, Darksiders. I mean, there's like a lot of games if you have the actual console. So it's man, I was like, this is a really, really cool rollout. And I'm just like, yo, just sign up for the trial and just give the game a shot, because like, even if you think that there's not a lot of content, if you play the game and do all the content in like 2 weeks and then cancel, great. You still had a positive time and you didn't have to waste any money.
And so I mean, the thing about it is, I think that Microsoft has really created a great ecosystem. You can go out and buy an Xbox One console today, and for I think an additional $200 basically, between Xbox Live for the year, Game Pass for the year, and EA Access for the year, never have to buy a game. And have literally hundreds of games available to you, and you're perfectly fine, and then if there are some other games that you want, you can go out and you can purchase those games. But the fact that you're paying for these services, EA Access at $30 for the year, Xbox Live for $50 or $60 for the year, depending on what you can get it, and $120 for the Game Pass. I think your bigger concern would be how much bandwidth you're using as you're downloading all of these games that are available. More so than your ability to play those games. There's so much out there that you can actually take advantage of. And I want to move on to one of our stories, which talking about taking advantage. Fortnite is really taking advantage of the momentum that they seem to have been gaining, all of this positive momentum, and they're sticking in the news. They're trying a bunch of different things. They've got a new mode called Blitz, the Blitz mode. Have you tried that out yet, Reef?
I have tried it for a little bit,
Okay.
I've been playing. Whoops! I just noticed I put something over your face in the video, which I did not mean to do.
Yeah, that's all right.
I apologize. See,
yeah,
it was not a glass of liquid racism by Pappy
Van Winkle be his name.
Yo, that's totally a Sea of Thieves pirate. I would not be surprised if I ran into Pappy Van Winkle as like a skeleton. But yeah. I mean, I've been playing. Honestly, I've been playing a lot more Fortnite on iOS than I have on the PC. Just because I'm, as I said before, I travel a lot for work, which is why I like the Switch. Has been great most of the time when I'm home. I don't know, Fortnite and PUBG, they haven't become as obsessive for me as they have with a lot of other gamers. So I'd much rather play other games. But yeah, I mean, Fortnite, I think it's great. I think that the Blitz mode is good. I think in general it's good. I can't really take it much more than that for me personally, than just being a good fun game.
Right. Well, so when a game becomes popular, and a game starts to hit critical mass in the way that Fortnite it has been, it becomes fodder for the trolls.
Yes.
And the trolls have come out in Fortnite. And what happens is sometimes you want to squad up, but you don't have a squad to play with. So you just let the game matchmake you into a squad. And what happens when you do that and you have the ability to shoot your teammates? Teammates be getting shot.
Team
so
shot.
yeah, so Epic has decided to do something. The creators of Fortnite and Fortnite Battle Royale, they have decided to remove friendly fire as a feature from Battle Royale because the trolls were out there trolling it up. What do you think?
And like this like decision was made a while back, but like at like GDC, Epic was kind of talking about why they did it,
right?
And they basically said that like they weighed positive versus negative impact in the game. I mean, the positive is not having friendly fire entices you to be with your friends, right? And it makes it a dangerous, realistic kind of situation, which some people like. Right. But it turned out that it was negatively affecting the game because so many people were like complaining because in like a Fortnite, if your teammate dies, you can pick up their items.
Right.
So like, so your teammate might see you pick up like a shotgun and they want the shotgun, so they kill you and they get it.
Right.
And they basically said that, they had one simple ideology, and I'm quoting from the article here. It says, if the overall reaction to turning off friendly fire, a big component of tactical shooters, was negative, they would bring the feature back. But if the response was positive, that they would remove it once and for all. So I thought that was cool, kind of like A/B kind of like testing that like you do on like a technical project. I mean, they basically said like, hey, like we're gonna let the users in the community like decide if this works or not, and they found out that like, hey, that even if people shot you by accident, that it was still kind of a negative feeling from the person that like got shot,
right? Right.
So I thought that like it was like cool because a lot of times when you think about game design, I think that a lot there's definitely a mode of like thought there that kind of like the devs know best and that they kind of make a decision and then you just deal with it.
Right.
I think that's been a lot of criticism of like Bungie on Destiny 2. Is that like their like sandbox team will like make a decision and the vocal minority will like be like railing against it. I like how Epic is like handling this, so because even though I'm sure that there's people that are pissed off that like friendly fire is not in there anymore because it makes it less of a realistic kind of like tactical thing. Right. I think that you're never going to make everybody happy, and you kind of got to go with what's going to have the best result for the best number of people. I forgot the name of that principle. That's some kind of like the greatest result for the greatest number of people.
Right.
But so
the needs of the many are greater than the needs. Greater than.
Yeah. So I think bravo to Epic on this, and like I just love how like conferences like GDC that the devs feel comfortable enough to like reveal these like kind of probably really hard choices that they had to make. In the boardrooms about what they were taking out and why and how they were going to justify it to their player base.
Well, and on top of that, I think it was, and for those people that are crying about realism in this game, like it's Fortnite. The game is a game that features cartoony characters that are, like overtly and overly muscled, jumping around, making fucking wooden stairs out of thin air, and you're gonna complain about realism in the game. Like, if you want realism, there is another battle royale game out there that will give you all of the realism that you want. It's more realistic looking. The tension's about the same, but because you don't have the ability when you are being attacked to just create out of thin air your own border or defense shield, it really creates, PUBG allows you to have that realism, and in PUBG you have friendly fire. So if that's what you want, then go play that game and allow Fortnite to just be what it is. And if they decide to change what it is a little to allow the game to be less toxic and be more fun, let them do that as well.
Make a lot of sense. Sea of Thieves also has friendly fire, as I found out by slicing Godfrey up by mistake.
Nice. I wonder what happens when I stab you. Stab.
Yeah, I carved him up pretty good.
Back. So, and to Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is fun. When you kill someone, they wind up on the ship of the dead. The ship of the dead. And it's very ethereal, and
it's awesome.
Sitting around. Right, you're sitting around, and while you're on the ship of the dead, if there are other players that are dead that are around you that may not have been part of your crew, you can talk to them and see what's going on, and talk shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
Very cool. Yeah. I've only been on there with the person that was in my game.
Oh, okay.
Like, I didn't know that there could be other people. That's pretty.
Oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely. And there's proximity chat. I mean, there are a lot of great things about the game. I know that I've seen several less than positive think pieces and or / reviews about that game, but I think those people are wrong. I think the game is fun. And I think that they are, people are fucking people are out there. They're trying to get their hot takes, and they're hot taking it, and I think that's the wrong tack to take with this game, especially since the way that you can get this game is basically in $10 a month increments.
Dude, I love how we turned a Fortnite story back to Sea of Thieves.
Back to Sea of Thieves. I mean, fuck it. Why not? Well, look, Fortnite is third person. Sea of Thieves is first person. Let's get our first person on. And speaking of first person, the people in the government, people that just don't understand, are trying to, again, what do they call that? Either gaslighting or whistleblowing or dog whistling. That's what it is. Dog whistling. The blowing the dog whistle hard body for video games being the reason that Mickey Fickies want to go and shoot up your schools. Look, everybody. Schools have been shot up before video games existed, and they'll be shot up after video games, after everyone that is an elected official has grown up and been playing video games.
Yes, sad but true.
Yeah, as long as we have the whack-ass, lackadaisical gun laws where, everyone's worried that, as long as motherfuckers want to be John McClane, like everybody believes that they're out there, yippee-ki-yay motherfuckers, like they're the ones that are going to save everybody, we're going to have these types of things. So there was an article in Polygon by John Phipps about, Vatek and Columbine and everything else. Reef, you know more about the story. Why don't you kind of go into it and talk about what was being said and why people are full of shit?
Well, like the why people are full of shit could be a separate show. But it's pretty obvious that there's been a lot of facts and research and all this that says that video games do not cause violence, and that video games are not responsible for people that commit these murders, that video games cannot make you a better shooter, you know. But I thought that this was a great article that really, in excruciating detail from like a former like Marine that has fought, you know, in the theater of war, in like a Fallujah, shot M16, shot all kinds of guns in Afghanistan, shot, you know, with the intent to kill people.
Right.
You know, this is somebody that's very, very experienced with like guns in war, and he gives a very, very detailed way about how video games in no way make you any kind of better shooter at all.
Right.
At all.
Right.
And so like he like talks about like the weight of an actual gun, like how you have to adjust for, you know, for like weather and your own sweaty grip and sort of the emotional impact that you have from like firing, gun jams, all that kind of stuff, you know. Right. But I thought that the most interesting part of the article, which was something that I didn't know, was that there was this guy Jeremy Bailenson that wrote this opinion piece that like basically said guns in games shouldn't have the mechanics of real ones. You shouldn't hold a realistically weighted gun-shaped object and pull a trigger in virtual reality. Instead, to operate a virtual gun, you should flick your wrist or bend your elbow. So his argument was that if like you're in VR and you're like holding, you know, like a Oculus or like a Vive controller and you're pressing like a trigger, that's too close, that like that's like a realistically weighted gun-shaped object. And he's basically like, yo, find me a peripheral that feels like an M16, right? You know, like a 10-pound gun, right? That's like even weighted down even more with like the scopes and, you know, and like muzzles and like and like all like of that
laser
stuff.
Sights
and then
else, right?
That like same guy, Jeremy, also said, let's change the physics of like bullets. He like basically said, let's make all VR bullets travel with a slight curve, so that you have to be pointing away from a target to actually hit it.
Like in that movie with Angelina Jolie.
Oh, like the movie with a Common in it where he was curving the bullets.
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie? Shit, I forgot the name of that movie. But I think it was Wanted. Was it Wanted?
Wanted. Yeah. With Morgan Freeman.
I know. I believe he cursed. I believe he actually dropped some F-bombs in that movie in his Morgan Freeman voice.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, like this like kind of ridiculous kind of commentary. It basically said like, hey, people are learning how to shoot from playing VR games, so let's make it so that they have to point away. That way, when these video gamers go on their school shooting sprees, they'll be shooting away from targets. Like, what?
Right.
Like, I can't believe someone with a brain actually wrote this shit. Like, that's like something I feel like a 6-year-old would like come up with. And like, I'm not trying to be harsh on this dude Jeremy, but I'm trying to be fucking harsh on this idiot Jeremy. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
I mean, well, again, it is the easy, it's the low, you know, it's the low hanging fruit boogeyman that allows people to continue this. There is this ridiculous obsession with firearms in our society, and I say this as a person who owns guns, that like we believe that we're the ones that are going to protect people. You know, like I'm not security of the first world, Craig. Like I can't go out there and protect everybody. Like I'm not even trying to protect myself with a gun. Like, I mean, that shit is crazy. But that's what we believe. That's what we as a country believe. And we use this false argument of the Second Amendment when like, oh yeah, because back in the late 18th century, we were afraid that maybe the government would become tyrannical like the monarchy that we left. So the states had the ability to form these militias that would allow common people to rise up against the government to keep them from enforcing tyrannical rule amongst the colonies.
Yeah,
That in some way that's equivalent
which is also in an environment where the British Empire was like forcing British soldiers in your house to live there.
Right.
Like you had to, like, it was a whole different situation.
Right.
Why they wanted people to be armed, but
Right.
well, we can't make this a Second Amendment show. That's gonna
Right.
go completely off the rails.
Right.
Yeah, just like the connections that these people are trying to make to all of us that grew up playing Doom and Quake and Wolfenstein and Unreal, and then how that evolved to the Call of Duties and Battlefields and all that stuff.
Right.
Overwatch League. Like, are all these people going to be like fucking mass murderers? Like, if you put a gun in the hand of the top Overwatch player, do you think that like he's going to be like doing these high scores at like a gun shop? Like, get out of here. Like,
first I do the combat roll, and then I say it's high noon. and then I just shoot motherfuckers. I just to the school.
Yeah. So I just like this like article, which is like basically called "Ignore the Panic. Video games are not training shooters," because I feel like it's like the first one that I've seen where like somebody with extensive gun and military experience has really broken down how ridiculous the idea is. Like, as he said at the end, we need to worry way more about like AR-15s and being able to go into a store and buy one when you're under 21,
right?
As opposed to like people playing, Call of Duty, Black Ops, IE.
Right. Well, and this whole VR argument, straw man, is because VR is the VR technology is advanced so far that it feels realistic at this point, that they feel like, oh, this is training, this is training the mass murderer of the future, which again is more bullshit. But what isn't bullshit in VR is the fact that the Oculus Go has finally, I don't know if it's officially been released, but people have them and they are using them and reviews are out. Reef, as an early adopter of the Oculus, of the commercial kit, did you have a dev kit?
I did not own one, but I used it at CES for basically about 2 or 3 years, like before the commercial one came out.
Right. So the standalone one, that's what it is. It's called the Oculus Go. So, and it is a Go. It is out. It is available for $199.99 for under $200.
Is it available? I don't know if it's available yet.
As the CSJR has said, it is a Go. The Oculus Go.
Okay. I thought that this was just like the premiere of it. I don't think there's a release date for it yet. Yeah, I mean, this is where VR, this is sort of the inevitable place is going, where like it's like wireless, and it's a lot cheaper, and it's it's great quality. Like, it's not going to be obviously the same quality as the full out one, but most people don't need that. Right. They just want something that's cool and like awesome, and and doesn't cost arm and a leg.
Right.
I think $200 is a great price. I think it looks like, the look of it is like, it's like pretty nice too. It looks a lot less heavy than the original one. As a owner of the full out Oculus, I don't mind the mess of wires that it is, and your tracking cameras and all that stuff. But clearly, the average consumer is not going to want to set up all that shit. So I think that the fact that this supposedly will come with a controller as well. I think it's just great, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously with like Facebook and like all their money that's like behind it, I just hope that every time that you use it, it's not sending data to like Russia or like some shit.
Yeah,
You know,
well, you know,
that's my
listen,
only worry.
the data's going everywhere. Your data, you know, I got your data now. Who's your data? Correction, as Charles has pointed out, it is not available till May, but it will be available at $199.99. As a person who has had several iterations of the Oculus Gear VR for my Samsung handsets, I am, and have the latest one, I am super excited for the Oculus Go at 199. This is, you know, halfway between the price of the Oculus Rift and also double the price of the Gear VR. I'm excited because what I'm basically getting is something as powerful as my phone that's dedicated just to VR. And that's exactly what I want. Like, I love my Gear VR. I love the experiences that I'm able to have with it, but I don't play it as much as I would like to because I've got to take my phone out of my case. I've got to make sure that my battery is charged. I got to put it all, you know, I got to put all the stuff together. And, you know, I want to share those experiences with my partner or with friends and family and stuff like that. But there's so much of a process that goes into just setting it up before I actually give it to them that it almost becomes like not worth the endeavor. But if all I've got to do is pull out the Oculus Go and just say, hey, put it on your head, here's a controller, move the controller around, it's got a little touchpad, blah, 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 and they can play and they can experience stuff, that's amazing. Plus, because I already have a Gear VR and, you know, I'm buying stuff within the Oculus store already, that means I can share those experiences or have multiplayer experiences because I've got two virtual reality headsets in my home at the same time, which is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and like I'm like imagining, like I know that like there's been some like early VR collaboration with the NBA and stuff, but just imagine with these kind of things that you could just have it next to your TV or watching a game, and like they could say, hey, like if like you have a headset, put it on for like an exclusive look, you know, into the thing, and you just throw that joint on, and like you're like, you know, like watching Draymond Green like punch somebody in the stomach or something like that. You know?
It's Draymond, he's gonna kick somebody in the nuts. So
you know, so yeah, I mean, I just think that like that makes it. I can just imagine just like a movie being on or like a game on, and like you just, you know, it's like putting on like your 3D glasses at a movie theater, you know.
Right. And yeah, I am super duper excited for this.
I will say that, you know, they've pretty much confirmed that it won't have head tracking, meaning you'll have to use your controller or your touchpad to actually move the way that you look.
Right.
Which is it's a sacrifice, especially if you're used to traditional VR. But I think that to get the price down, I think it's a good sacrifice. Like, you got to get rid of something, and I think that especially for the new people that haven't experienced like VR, I think that like they won't even notice. Like, it'll be so cool that like they'll just be like, "This is awesome," you know. Well, so I think that like it was a good decision.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, Reeve. So, like, you know, I've played on a Rift in stores and stuff like that, but most of my VR experiences have been on the Gear VR. So there's no head tracking on that either. So this is, again, for me, this is perfect because it's the same experience that I would have, or similar, or actually even an upgraded experience that I would have on my Gear VR in the same form factor, and you know, and just an upgraded experience for double the price. Done. I'm sold. I'm sold. And you know, and again, we talked about this months ago when they announced this, that you know, early stubnostication is that 12 months from now, 12 maybe 18 months from now, this will be half the price. Definitely by holiday season 2019, the Oculus Go will be $99, and this will push VR into, like, we will start to see the beginnings of the world of Ready Player One, of the Oasis.
Well, I think it'll be a little longer than that, but I do agree that we're heading there, absolutely. But yeah, I'm super excited, man. Like, even though, as I said, I have my $7 Oculus setup, so I probably won't be dipping into this,
right?
But like, I'm just excited that it gets more VR to more people, which is really what I care about. Which like means that like devs are gonna be like, hey, there's a lot of people with this headset. Let's start making some games,
Right.
So like you might, like there are some big companies like Epic and stuff that have been making
Ubisoft,
like VR games, but like you haven't seen all of the major companies doing it. And I think that this is a good platform that could get into a lot of hands. It would be a great holiday gift as well.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I could definitely see like this spreading the love and just making VR more available.
Yeah, well, I mean, are you guys excited as we are about the Oculus Go? If you want to tell us how you feel, just go to Twitter or email or any of those other places and let us know. But as good as it was, play critically is like, meh. All right, well, you could be an old fuddy-duddy, play critically. It's all right. But, we'll play with you and some other stuff. If you play with us, Thieves or something else, just, find a cat. So, all good things must be coming to an end.
You're the best pirate.
Thank you. I be pirating. Sharif Jackson. Ye be giving thee the social.
I'm editing all of your pirate stuff out of the show. Damn it. Yeah, so spawnon.me. That's where you can find previous episodes of the show, our bios, contact information, all that good stuff there. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at SpawnOnMe as well. If you're listening to the audio show, which releases every Tuesday, even though I know that our last show was like a little bit late, but it generally releases on Tuesdays on Google Play, iTunes, all that stuff. You can also watch our live video on Thursdays, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, at twitch.tv/SpawnOnMe. And if you want to go above and beyond with your support of the show, help us improve audio quality, video quality, all our travel, all that stuff to bring you the best information, go to patreon.com/SpawnOnMe. And give us a little bit of dollars, a little bit of dough, and we can help make this show and our community the best that it can. And if you want to email us as well, I always forget about the email because no one emails, but hey, if you want to be one of the first to email us in a while, you can go to spawnonmepodcast@gmail.com. Maybe just like email us and like I just say, hey, here's an email. It'll have nothing in it, but that's still cool. You know what I'm saying? So, so that is the ways that you can contact us. Close it out.
I be closing it out, yar. So for the absent Kahlief Adams, for the absent but traveling Tanya to Pass, for Sharif Jackson.
Oh my God.
I be Cicero Holmes. We be the Spawn on Me podcast. This be episode 213. And we be telling you, AVAST. And peace.
Avast, everybody. Avast. All right, chat. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, if like you want to jump on some Sea of Thieves with us, like we're definitely going to be playing quite a bit. So yeah, make sure that you add us on Xbox. I'm just there under Sharif. Cicero's there under W Stan. So yeah. One thing that this game has made me realize is that, I've been neglecting my Xbox friend account because I haven't really used it. But yeah, so like I've had to add all these people that I thought that I had on, but I never did. So, all right. Yeah. So, we're going to end the stream. But
thanks everybody for hanging out.
Yep.
I be seeing you on the seas.
Yeah. Actually, Charles is like saying that he wants you to like do a voice for one of the characters on Coins to Continue. So
yes.
So you might be invited to do like a pirate voice. And
it's been a minute since I was on Coins anyway, so it's time to have me back.
I mean, I've never been on Coins because I'm not special, but
Nah. Well, I mean, it's all right. It's different.
It's all good, but we do need to have Charles and Pika on. Spawn on me as well.
Yes. Katie's never been on. Charles has been on, and we need to have him back. That's for damn sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace. Have a good night.
Avast.